I keep going back to, though, definitely wasn't a case of just one team being absolutely better. Definitely a case of maybe the draft, perhaps just wasn't their game there. I'm expecting The Last of Us to put a much better fight here in game number 2. Will it happen? We'll have to wait and see. Once again, joined by Mini Maggots. We got an interesting start here to game number 2 as far as the bands, most specifically. Parasite, Magnus, Cthulhu Fought, Swiftblade were the bands. So BMG, kind of interesting, because they first picked the Magnus last game over the Rhapsody, remember. Again, that clearly worked out in their favor. But they even banned Magnus here with one of their 2 bans, preventing, I guess, The Last of Us from maybe first picking it. But I find that interesting. But what's done is done here. They value the Magnus, clearly. Rhapsody, Tempest, though, going to be the first 2 pickups for The Last of Us. Ophelia so far coming out for BMG. So we are going to have a jungle versus jungle game this time around. Doesn't involve Parasite.
And hopefully we'll see something a little bit different, or at least a little bit better here from The Last of Us. They're not running dual support, so at least they have the Tempest in the jungle. They sort of offer some kind of golden experience lead in the early game. There's obviously also some kind of gank potential as well, but we'll have to see in the end. And another Vindicator pickup again, so BMG definitely showing that they do like to pick up the Vindicator time and time and again.
Very early Vindicator pickup, especially compared to the last time. I believe it was their 5th pick, actually, last time around. So, but yeah, Vindicator it is, and, he's a great hero against both Tempest and Rhapsody in the sense that Global Ultimate will be able to cancel any of their big ultimates with the Elemental Void, or, of course, the Disco Inferno. Granted, Tempest, when he gets a Shrunken Head, maybe, or definitely a little bit of a different story, but at least for Rhapsody, it will be good for locking down her, and, great against those multicast heroes, and that's why I say a very early Vindicator pick might be a little bit telling in the sense of what they are going to go, and he's kind of one of those heroes where you can almost draft around it. Okay, let's not pick up a hero that's very reliant on big ultis maybe, or somewhat spamming, kind of like a Chipper or something like that. Now they do go a Wretched Hag, and
which is yeah.
So
you're saying, oh yeah, big ultimates and something that doesn't spam. I think that's Wretched Hag in a nutshell, but I guess they're going to pick up the heroes they feel comfortable with again. They don't really care what they're going against, but something to definitely be noted, though. And I think that both of these teams are going for sort of a similar strategy. Heavy push, heavy team fight. Obviously, Vindicator, Ophelia, and Pebbles here for Hellborn, and Wretched Hag, Tempest, and Rhapsody on the Legion. So it's going to be a clash of heads throughout the whole game, actually. None of this sort of ganking and team fight. It's all about team fight for both of these teams right now.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really going to be looking at this Wretched Hag. If he struggles this game, I'm going to look exactly back to this draft and be like, well, they should not have picked it up right after a Vindicator was picked up on BMG. But we'll see. Maybe we'll be completely wrong and it'll work out just fine, and that'll be a different story. But yeah, it's a very risky, once again, kind of pickup. But will it pay off? We'll have to wait and see. Pebbles, again, the final pick, obviously, for Bad Monkey Gaming. So going into the bands, Bubbles, Puppet Master, Chipper, Silhouette. And one more on the other side, of course, going to be coming out now. Both sides you would expect to have their carries, unlike last game, but we still see heroes like Puppet Master and Silhouette even taken out by BMG. Granted, of course, Wretched Hag could definitely be a Suicide Hag. That wouldn't be out of the question. So they're just making sure. Yeah, they even banned the Dark Lady. Jeez.
That has the same bans as last game as well. Maybe they don't feel comfortable playing against it, perhaps. I don't know.
Yeah, that's... They are expecting that Wretched Hag to be a suicide is basically what that really makes of. It was kind of interesting looking at President 25's stats, and I don't know if it was 100% of his games by any means, but just a couple of games I had on the record that I had here. He's played Defiler, Sandwraith, and Dark Lady, and now Draconis, as we saw last game. So, this guy plays different carries and he doesn't have many games under his belt, of course, but still, not your usual and very diverse in that sense. So we'll see if it does end up being the Hag here, or maybe just another one of these kind of different heroes as far as the carry is concerned. But they are going to go Gauntlet. With that said, again, another hero that could be susceptible to Vindicator at the same time. So, but going back to the comfort thing, as you were talking about, that seems like that's what they're maybe leaning on here. So, a lot of extra time this time around, unlike last game. Both teams were actually pretty low in the extra time at this point, but quicker earlier on. I don't know. It seems like The Last of Us here, they definitely more of a team-oriented with some aggressive mixture. Unlike last game where they were very reliant on the hard carry, they have the dual supports. They were looking to play the longer game. This game may be more of a quicker mid-game style lineup here.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, they picked up a Gauntlet again. Obviously, one of those heroes that has one of the lowest win percentage. Actually, Quincy points the stats there again. 25% win. Like, I just don't know. Don't really know about this hero really. Like, I think it's strong, but I mean, clearly the stats don't agree with me.
Yeah, stats don't lie. I was pointing out last game. I mean, it is only 28 games. I don't like to say that Drunken Master, but still, I mean, 28 games is still 28 games, and doing the math, so what? 7 out of the 28 games he's managed to win. The other 21 he's lost. I know math.
Wow.
Extra time is going to be running out here very shortly. Andromeda coming out now. Andromeda very strong against heroes like Rhapsody and Tempest, and it almost, now with this pickup happening, it makes me wonder like why we maybe haven't seen more Andromeda, especially since she got that big buff, man. Her ultimate now probably provides a massive amount of armor to her. Earlier on, tapers off, kind of like Malikan's ultimate.
Yeah, I mean, Andro, great support, particularly against Tempest, because even obviously after the Strong and Heady, he can still be used and swapped out. He obviously needs the Null Stone as well. Obviously, Tempest could definitely farm it, but that's just so much farm just to sort of cancel the Andromeda. And already, I really do like the BMG lineup, because with this lineup from BMG, it's almost like they're countering the heroes that the Last of Us are picking. Something that we don't actually see too much in Hon, honestly. In Hon, normally it's like, okay, pick all these strong heroes and just sort of play from there. But from BMG, they're always like thinking exactly what the enemy team is picking, and then as a result, they're counter-picking. And this Andromeda is a great support. The one thing, or the one issue I've got, obviously, isn't the strongest in terms of the middle lane, and as they have picked up Ophelia, it's most likely going to be a Pebbles Andromeda in the middle lane unless they decide to run it short and maybe put the Vindicator there solo mid, but even that has some kind of issues with it. But overall, I do like the pickup though, because it does counter Tempest quite hard, quite big, as well as the Rhapsody as well. So already, with that one support, I like the BMG lineup.
Now, the right-clicking, I gotta believe they're not gonna go Oogie here. There's no way they're gonna go Oogie. Zephyr coming out. All right, add a new hero to the list. I assume so, at least. I don't believe we've seen this hero yet in Hon Tour. Man, the bird is back, baby. Or at least The Last of Us thinks so.
Is this DreamHack or what?
Yeah, right. That's why pick up Zephyr when it's not DreamHack. That's just silly. Drunken Master gonna be the last pickup for BMG on the other hand, but Zephyr coming out. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
does it make I guess it does. I mean, this is a pretty AoE-centric lineup in the end, and he's obviously a very solid carry in the sense of he's good at farming at least now. He's not going to be a hard-game, late-game carry, but...
Yeah, but I mean, it's quite greedy in the sense that they already have the Wretched Hag. They've obviously got the Tempest as well as the Zephyr. That's a lot of heroes that need farm, and even Gauntlet needs some kind of farm as well. And seeing as obviously there's a lot of sort of clash in terms of team fights, most likely in the early game, will there be enough farm to go around? I guess we'll have to see. Another thing is obviously they're running the Tempest as well, so Zephyr won't have the woods open to him to sort of openly farm it. So don't expect him to have, rocketed high in terms of GPM. Actually, the last stat, he did have 593 GPM the last game that he was played, only one game. But yeah, so don't expect him to have that great in terms of the actual GPM. But I guess it just goes back to sort of them feeling comfortable. It does work in terms of the strategy. A lot of team fight, a lot of AoE sort of centric spells, obviously the Typhoon and the Gust, but I just don't know. I got a feeling that if they do fall behind, it's going to be very, very hard for them to get back into the game because of their quite greedy picks, but we'll have to see.
Yeah. Okay, apparently has been played once before. Who played that Zephyr game, Quincy, if you don't mind me asking? Because 10, 8, and 20, 593 gold per minute, whoever it was, had a pretty damn good time on the Zephyr. And we know that this hero has potential, of course. Players like Chessie and Limp come to mind. The brothers, of course, very well known for playing this hero, especially in the TMM scene, and doing wonders with it, but also on the competitive scene. BMG's worst hero, okay, is the Ophelia, still at a 73% win percentage, but in the hands of Tankafet here, though, and again, we all know Tankafet, very, very good Ophelia player for them. So, okay, so it was actually Limp back in Carnage Colorado. Okay, so he hasn't been played in Hon Tour, so what I said earlier was actually correct. Okay. Just in Carnage Calabar was the one time that we did see him, as far as recent stats go. But so yeah, King Plato though going to be the Zephyr. We'll see. But you are right. They have a Tempest. So as far as the farm being spread out, that's going to be interesting to see how that works out. Because sure on King Plato on the Draconis last game, they had the dual support. They were kind of stacking the camp somewhat. He was able to get a good amount of farm early on. Granted, it didn't last too long. But this game maybe going to be a little bit different, though, as you're pointing out. So the lane's coming about, though. What do we see here? Drunken going to be Suicide. Gauntlet, right now, he's going to be solo middle, actually, against Andromeda Pebbles. They decide to have the Rhapsody babysit Zephyr, at least initially here. Does this make sense to you? Is this the best lineup for them?
Yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense because I think Drunken Master would most likely beat Zephyr in the 1v1 match. I mean, Zephyr is quite strong in terms of 1v1. Obviously, he can get those gusts up. But, I mean, seeing as Zephyr had such a great game last time when he was 1v2, imagine what he could do 1v1 perhaps. And obviously, they want to have Zephyr on a good start. And at the same time, only try and shut down the Drunken Master as much as possible. The only problem is that obviously Gauntlet isn't the strongest in terms of 1v2 laners. And at the same time, Andromeda isn't the strongest 2v2 laner, so if they did go dual lane support, dual lane in the middle lane, they could have definitely taken advantage of maybe the weak Andromeda and the weak sort of Pebbles in the dual lane middle. But Azrael maybe just wants to sort of focus here on the Zephyr, as he's going to be their main priority here in the sort of mid stages going into the game.
Yeah. Very interesting stat right there. Again, it's every now and then keep an eye on that the beginning stats right there. You see the player hero combinations. I mean, it's 0% win percentage, but it's only 2 games in total. That means they've only have I don't know who it would be as far as who's played what. That's actually been those 2 games, but only somebody's played the hero twice in these competitive tier matches at this point. Now, granted, The Last of Us, they are a fairly newer team all in the competitive scene and at that top tier play, sure, but that's very interesting to note right there. Dropped in the middle lane. Is he actually going to fall? No!
Oh,
Pebbles takes aggro of the tower at the last second. Wow, that would have been huge, though, for the Legion team, if Misery was able to do that. And speaking of Misery, so there you go. He's the only one that's actually playing a hero that they played before in these high-tier matches. But, I mean, that's the potential of a hero like Gauntlet with that hook. Get some tower.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess particularly on Andromeda as well, obviously he doesn't have the full 600 range, so he does obviously got to come closer, and that's obviously going to make the hook a lot easier to hit as well, and obviously can overstep his boundaries, and they're so close. So one attack away from the tower would definitely have secured the kill. Actually, Repsy here with DD, but Andromeda's not going to venture out any further than that, so yeah. He's going to go back to the lane.
Yeah, you do see the double damage Rhapsody heading over. Rev Ward goes down as a just in case as well, also to counter ward if that was the case here. But as you see, nothing really around, so just making sure it's vanilla fresh here, playing that Rhapsody. But yeah, in the middle lane, I was going to say though, is she actually going to stay here? Is she going to go back? I mean, you look at bottom, you see Drunken Master, he's taking advantage of Rhapsody missing. But as I said, that Tempest coming in, actually Drunken in some trouble. The Gust in, Tempest with the stun, one goes out, he actually just joins the other one with the stagger right there, and is going to be fine in the end. Gets the distance, does survive. So well played coming out right there. Oh, never mind. He was only level 1
yeah,
stud.
I was going to say,
yeah, that wouldn't make sense. Anyways, he does survive. Nonetheless, that's the important part. As Rhapsody now comes back in. So Tempest trying to be a little active early on, but unsuccessful.
But yeah, I mean, compared to last game, though, at least they're not sort of falling too behind in terms of golden experience. They're actually even or slightly ahead, actually, going into it. But actually, top lane, Richard Hag might be in trouble now. He's just going to blink away. But I do like what Tankfet is doing, though, because although they're not securing the kill onto Richard Hag, although she's coming around again, actually, a double back. Richard Hag has 2 seconds on the blink. She might go down, actually.
Yo, the Catman nuke, not enough.
The Affiliate's Judgment was so close to being used as well. That would most definitely have secured the kill, but just couldn't secure it in the end. All top rune as well.
Yeah, and Viscerin actually going to be picked up and dropping him right at the 4-minute mark. So Gauntlet was a little bit too late to it. I mean, he's going to apply some good damage, but yeah, he's not going to commit any further. He knows that he doesn't want to overstep his boundaries right there. So he falls back before he gets caught. And now that in Viscerin, we'll see what kind of use BMG could possibly make of that, as it is still very early on in the game, and that could definitely be very potent. So Wretched actually is back to base after that harassment, going to be pointing back to the top lane, getting her regen on. Let's take a closer look at the creep farm here, specifically in those short lanes. We got Zephyr 28-9, Drunken Master 11-2, so much better this game around, actually. Especially really on both sides, I would say. King Plato doing a fantastic job of the last hits. And also Drunken Master not getting the most in the end. Able to get some good harassment. And at the top lane, Vindicator 25-11, while Wretched Axe 10-3. So it seems like both of those short lane farmers doing pretty well here when it's all said and done. So, but Zephyr gets an early life tube. I assume we're going to see the Helm of the Black Legion. I don't know though. What do you expect to see on the Zephyr from there? Because this is a hero that could go several different ways.
Yeah, I mean, one way that Limp and Jesse did love to go actually was the Energizer after the Helmlock Legion, just to give them enough mobility to actually sort of get involved with obviously the Cyclones and the Typhoon, just give them a lot of catch potential. But whether we'll see that here is another question. Also, another thing that Jesse and Limp liked to do was obviously the Strong Head, and seeing as they're going against a lot of team fight potential, Strong Head wouldn't be too bad either actually. But if you want to go sort of some kind of farming route, the Frostbind or the Dawnbringer could also be a route. Like you said, there's a lot of different builds, but it kind of depends what kind of strategy they're sort of willing to go here. Yeah. Actually, Andromeda here is down here with an Invis Room, but I don't think they'll be able to kill this kill the Zephyr without another hero. And also Tempest is in the jungle as well, but Andromed's going to break stealth, get a few last hits, but he might be in a little bit of trouble, actually.
Yeah, Andrew got a little greedy right there. Now, she is going to be fine, but that was support getting a little greedy. In the end, does survive, though. Double damage rune actually going to be bottled up by Drunken Master. That happened to spawn right there. So, yeah, the lane was just a little bit too pushed up. I think he was trying to set up the gank that whole time, but the lane was too far pushed up. Drunken Master couldn't really get the positioning. I think they really wanted to go for Rhapsody. He was sitting on top of her, but yeah, it just wasn't going to happen. So, plays it safe in that sense, falls back. And even gets a health potion after taking that harassment damage. But we'll see if Drunken Master, especially with that double damage rune again, talking about it earlier, if he happens to get a jump on this Rhapsody, could be trouble. But middle lane indeed. Chuck right there. Oh, here comes the Skullskin now. He's going to try to hook away. The jumper comes out, but the Gauntlet Blast, it is going to be a counter kill. But he does die first. Tankafet with credit for the Bloodlust. Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, Drunken Master also goes down. So a blink of an eye, basically. And before you know it, 3 heroes are dead. In favor, though, of The Last of Us. And they're going to put some pressure on this bottom tower even. Yeah,
definitely. And that's actually really important that Present 23 actually got the kill on Wretched Hag, because she was suffering quite a lot because Tankfet was sort of spamming, sort of trying to give Hactrin as not as much of an easy time as possible. And that kill on Hag is definitely very much needed to sort of get her back into the game. But again, though, actually, Zephyr, DD on Drunken Master Rhapsody, you're going to definitely fall down here. One more
attack. No,
maybe?
No, okay.
Stun couldn't be done.
That's a revenge right there. And he's still going. Oh, man. Lunges up in 5 seconds. If that comes up and he's able to get the angle.
Juke.
Oh, this is tough, though. He has a poor coming in. Did he make the juke? No, he's going to see him. No, he can't see him. The Fate of Black kicks in. He's trying to chase, but it's not going to happen. And now Drunken Master Papas just out of range. Present 23 went all in right there, and it did not connect. And Drunken Master survives. Yeah, I mean, it was one thing for Zephyr to barely live, but wasting a Bat Blast like that, really unfortunate news right there. And it's not over just yet. In fact, Drunken Master is still with it, DD. He's going to pick up the rune right there, right before Wretched Hag can. Tempest ultimate, it's going to be canceled immediately. He tried to use it. He got stunned, though. He's going to end up falling. And The Last of Us is falling apart for them. Drunken Master still chasing. Sunscreen hits, but it doesn't matter. He goes in with the Invis Rune, and Wretched Hag does fall. She actually she could have blinked right there, but I don't think she knew Drunken was actually right on her tail.
Yeah, she actually stopped for an auto attack as well. Actually, Zephyr might be in trouble as well. Like, does dodge the stun, but can he get away?
Oh, he tried to get chucked back, and he's going back. And what is Zephyr thinking? I don't think he realized so many people were here. He's going to try to hold this guy count. Gauntlet going in for the background, though, so maybe that's what he's thinking. Yes, it was. Pebbles actually falls, and now Andromeda also going to be caught out, so never mind about guessing what he was doing. Clearly, he had Gauntlet coming with the flank. He knew that, and decides to man up and fight right there. So a little bit of an extra dive from BMG results in kills for The Last of Us. Meanwhile, top tower does go down, but action really is picked up here in game number 2.
Yeah, and the most important thing, though, is King Player didn't die, though. He's 380 GPM now. He's going to start snowballing. And depending on what he's going to go for, like I said before, it all depends on what kind of sort of strategy that Misery, I mean, he is the captain here for The Last of Us, what kind of sort of game plan he's going to go ahead of this. Does he want to sort of start team fighting? Then maybe the Energizer or even the Stronger Head would be the best choice. But if he's going to start farming, then maybe the Dawnbringer would be the better choice, just to increase his farm that much more. But in terms of what they should do, I mean, they do have obviously the Wretched Hag and the Tempest, great sort of late game potential. So maybe the Frostbond would be the worst choice here for Zephyr. But again, obviously, he doesn't want to go too late, because obviously there is some good carry potential here with Drunken Master and Vindicator. But again, it just goes back to what kind of style that they want to play here.
Yeah, you see right there, again, more harassment coming out from Drunken Master, but Zephyr not too worried. He's got the full Cyclones up. He doesn't... Oh, he does have enough mana for Typhoon, actually. So how much mana? That must be... Okay, only 100 mana at level 1, so has enough for that, so just in case as well, if need be. Middle lane, there's multiple heroes here, and here we go. Gauntlet Blast on a Pebbles. He's going to survive the initial burst. Tempest also charging in. Andromeda falls. Not the prettiest execution, actually. I think Gauntlet went in a little bit too early right here. In fact, he's now in trouble as Vindicator comes in with a flank. Drunken Master also charging in. Can he get a range? He actually lunges Tempest, knowing that Gauntlet's dead anyways. Gauntlet goes down. Tempest in trouble. Tempest falls as well. Zephyr still at the bottom lane, unfortunately. In the meantime, his team kind of getting cleaned up as Wretched Hag blinks away in time. So, I don't know. You can't really blame him. He didn't have a TP, and he's trying to put some pressure on his bottom tower. But, again, that was also, I think, they just went a little too early.
Yeah, but Vindicator did such an important work. I don't know if you saw, but Rhapsody was going to come up with a follow-up stun on Pebbles. Actually, Wretched Hag does get caught by the Monitor stun. This is going to be her falling as well. Man, BMG are definitely just starts rolling on in now. But yeah, going back to the Vindicator, though, she actually sort of used the final chapter, and as a result, Rhapsody couldn't get her follow-up stun on Pebbles. That was most likely going to be a guaranteed kill on Pebbles. In the end, couldn't get the follow-up stun on Pebbles, and then she sort of turned it onto Rhapsody, and again, Vindicator making plays whether we see it or not.
Yeah, exactly. The final chapter kicking in. Yeah, I didn't even notice that until you pointed that out. So, again, one of those abilities that just, as a spectator, it's very difficult to see most of the time, but most certainly have an impact right there. And look at that gold efficiency. It was very similar to last game as well. BMG is doing very well, near 100, whereas The Last of Us downwards at a 69% range right there. Zephyr bottom lane, trying to stand his ground. Typhoon comes out. Will it be enough fuel to keep him alive? Yes, it will. Vindicator goes down, and down goes Drunken Master. The power of Zephyr showing off right there. Mystic Vestments, Helm of the Black Legion helps as well. And yes, Gauntlet being there, of course, helping on top of it all. So, The Last of Us, similar to last game, they're saying, no, we're not going to give in. And, you know, different, though, in the sense it's not as big of a lead by any means. And Zephyr's now 500 gold per minute. I mean, jeez.
He hasn't dropped.
Yeah.
He's farming a lot. And they also have the mid-tier 1 tower to take and the mid-tier 1 to take as well, compared to, obviously, BMG have got the middle and their short tower down as well. So, in that respect, actually, there's still a lot more gold to be earned here for The Last of Us, and they're only 3,000 gold behind. Actually, hook onto Pebbles as well. Massive hook coming out from Misery.
Yep, Misery pulls him in. And Andromeda swap, but no, just a little bit too late. Now, she didn't actually go up on the ledge, so she is going to manage to survive right there. Protective Melody comes out, so Drunken Master will have to start falling back. Granted, he got Wretched Hag just before, so the Protective Melody actually was a little bit late right there. Actually didn't even realize that Hag ended up falling, so that she does. Zephyr now getting caught as well with the Sculpting Net. The chase continues, untouchable. There's a Tavis ultimate. It's going to be a full duration. It's a follow-up enough, though. Inferno stability is out. Andromeda goes down. They're trying to take it Ophelia. She's going to end up falling, and a big Tempest ultimate from Narcy sets up a couple of kills. Will it be a third? Drunken Master on the edge. He's just poking in there a little bit. He is going to live, though, in the long run, but that was clutch timing. But look at Zibby, though. He is not finished just yet. He's still going through. All right, is he actually going to start running away now? Yeah, he's going to toy with him again, but falls back. But yeah, big Tempest ultimate. That's what it can do. 510 gold per minute now for Zephyr. And yeah, Vindicator's ultimate, I'm pretty sure, was just coming off cooldown as it happened. So, of course, I believe he even got caught, so it wouldn't have mattered.
Don't look. Pebbles. Dead. Middle
lane, yes. I was like it was at the top, but yeah, nothing up there. But yeah, middle lane, they catch Pebbles. So, man, I mean, it looked like BMG, unfortunately, like last game, was going to start picking up the momentum again, and who knew what was going to happen from there? But no. Once again, says The Last of Us, and I keep going back to the Zephyr. I mean, he has nearly 3,000 gold saved up. So,
I don't think he knows what he's going to go for the 5 rounds. So it's going to be the Frostburn. So some kind of sort of carry potential as well, obviously increase his kind of farming potential, which makes sense. Obviously, maybe the Strong Head might be the better in terms of maybe the raw out team fight, but they obviously get the Wretched Hag for some kind of late game. There's obviously the Tempest as well, so obviously they don't want to end the game just yet. Obviously he can pick up the Strong Head maybe next, but in the meantime he's going to sort of sit back, farm a little bit more, and then maybe sort of stick it to BMG. Actually, top lane.
Hag's going to be fine initially. Well, she'll be fine in the long run. Skeleton King coming in, but no, not going to be able to get a range. So present 25 will indeed be fine in the long run. Andromeda does a counter warning. Rhapsody is here, and actually Tempest is charging it as well. The staccato stuns, are they going to set up a stun from Tempest? Yes, they will. Zephyr in the front lines. No, the swap at the last second. Vindicator, he might be in trouble himself, though. He's going to be fine. But down goes Andromeda, so that was a little awkward right there. In fact, I think that was miscommunication because he was actually tableting her. And as he did, the swap also happened, so it's kind of awkward. And actually, well, ended up dying anyway, so I guess now we're the biggest deal in the end. Coming out, Andromeda swap, a fairly shorter cooldown, only 65 seconds at level 1. It goes down from there, so not that big of a deal.
The Last of Us are going to take the 2 on top as well, actually, so again, increasing their gold lead that bit more as well. And they're actually ahead by, in terms of 3.5 experience lead as well, actually. So BMG, they do have the portal key on Pebbles now, as well as the Astrolabe on Ophelia. So maybe this is the time where they're going to start actually trying to sort of clump together and make the team fights happen.
Yeah. Zephyr continuing to farm that middle. Yeah, again, 1700 gold save job. So with the first item, Firebrand, more of a farm-centric item. I was actually getting curious if we're going to possibly even see something like that Mock of Brilliance coming out from Zephyr with the way he was saving up that gold. But again, that obviously isn't the case here. And instead being a little bit more safe in that sense. But it was kind of, bringing up the debate, though, how should he be building ultimately in this game? I mean, and how the playstyle will continue here for The Last of Us, because this is definitely a lot of potential to be a very, very strong mid-game team with Zephyr getting his amped farm especially. Now, come late game, perhaps a little bit of a different story. Zephyr definitely has potential. I mean, any hero with a farm like he could have. It's actually, as I say that, Zephyr going to be cut off right here. They were going for Andromeda. She did not realize, though, support was nearby, and that they were. The Portakey Pebbles leads the way. Now the chase continues. Tempest also, he's going to be found out. He's trying to juke a little bit. The hook coming out, and I think he was expecting Tempest to keep going right there. So it's not going to hit, and instead, Narcy on the Tempest will end up falling. A double tap for Xebe, and Super KG even wants more, damn it. And he's going to continue to pursue. He does have Ophelia nearby. Rhapsody Staccato Stun's going to be used right there. There's the Stalagmite. It's going to connect. Gauntlet off to the side. He has his ultimate. He's going to grapple in, actually. Trying to save the day. There goes the ultimate. But the chase from Pebbles is successful onto Rhapsody. This dive from BMG. It's ridiculous, man. Last one's trying to stop it all they can, but it's not to be, apparently. This is going to be a secondary tower kill, most likely.
Yeah, most likely, and they're going to defend their tier 2 top as well, because Wretched Hag's got to pull back. And again, obviously, we were saying the last of us, we're actually looking quite far ahead in terms of their golden experience, but I think Zephyr is definitely back up now. They're going to try and chase. Can they catch is the question.
There's Zephyr, but the Minotaur stun stomping, and that will stop any attempt that The Last of Us may have. I love watching Zimmer, man. He just continues to be just on the outside. He's like thinking, oh, do I want to go back in? Never mind. But this is one of these players that, is not afraid to man up, definitely. And I was thinking about it right there, but decides to fall back. Vindicator, how is this farm coming along? Kind of been quiet here as hacks are in. Last game he didn't necessarily need to be all too involved in the end, just overall just domination from the team. This time around, I mean, he is 3-1-2, so has been involved. He's farming 355 gold per minute, working on the health of what's going to look like. In the meantime, Tempest getting caught out yet again. I mean, there's no vision on the bottom portion of this map right now for this Legion side, so they're going to continue to be vulnerable if that's the case. Need to keep that in mind for The Last of Us. So, yeah, where do they go from here? They either, the whole warding up and trying to continue to play defensively. Do they do a group up and go for some push? I mean, what do you I mean, Typhoon is actually now on cooldown, so.
Yeah, I mean, to me, though, there seems to be almost a split in terms of what each player thinks they need to be doing, because you've got Narcy picked up the Astrolabe, that's fine, obviously. If they want to start pushing, if they want to start team fighting, Astrolabe is the perfect guy to pick up, but, Zephyr's picked up the Frostbone here, and I think maybe the Strongman Head, or even obviously the Energizer, could be offering a little bit more in terms of the team fight. So there's a lot of magic damage coming out from BMG, obviously, with the Ophelia, with the Pebbles, and the Andromeda. And yet he's gone off for the Frostborn, so it's a little bit sort of almost counter synergy in terms of the item pickups here for the Last of Us. In the meantime, BMG does take out Conga actually, so that's going to be taken or given to Pebbles actually. So now he's got the token. The push here for BMG is not going to stop. So Absolute Legends, the Last of Us even needs to sort of take this team fight. I can't completely try and gank or try and just sort of split push. In the meantime, a failed gank here on Pebbles is not going to connect.
Yeah, and I'm actually curious because he has a portal key, does Gauntlet, and I almost want to say he probably would, or he could have just gone in and made that a lot easier on himself, but he chose to go for the long range grapple. Instead, maybe figuring Super KG could have reacted if he portal keyed didn't, I guess, but in the end, doesn't connect, and Pebbles is going to be fine. But I was going to point that out too, that he at least has his portal key now, and again, that's a good thing. Soul's Bulwark on Exhibit, by the way, playing the Drunken Master, so his amp damage kicking in right there against this Legion team. And this Legion team, with that said, their majority magical damage is very safe to say, and that's going to continue throughout most of this game. That's actually top or bottom lane even. We have a big fight taking place right here. Final chapter comes out. Rhapsody gonna fall there. All Silence can't do much right now. It's going to be wearing off right here, though. Down goes the Typhoon. The Tempest ultimate catches a couple, including Ophelia. The Swap from Andromeda, though, comes out. Bat Blast going to be used. Not enough damage just yet. Finally enough damage. Andromeda and Drunken Master fall one on top of another. Zephyr is still alive, and he's still looking good. The chase continues. Vindicator Adamanta tablets over the ledge barely, but Gauntlet is looking to chase. Meanwhile, Wretched Hag and Rhapsody Wretched Hag even just getting picked off right there on the Legion side. And now Pebbles, he's still good to go. He's got a token too, remember. He's going to throw the stun on the Gauntlet. Now, Vindicator doesn't have the most mana, uses that Brain Drain right there. But now Zephyr coming back in. Pebbles needs to be careful not to die himself. And I think, unfortunately, he is going to die. Now, the question is, will he die a second time? I think he maybe is going to be fine. They don't really have the best stun. Yeah, no, he gets gusted. They're going to go for it, actually. Tempest is just out of range. He was very slow right here to go for the ball. Nice Stalagmite. Perfect timing, but the grapple connects, and Pebbles will go down in the end. What a crazy fight, man. But The Last of Us, they do come out on top.
Exactly, and this is what I was trying to say. Like, they definitely have the potential to take these team fights. It depends on the initiation, and it was a big Tempest on top of a big back blast, as well as with the AoE synergy from the Typhoon. And BMG, they almost seemed a little bit sort of scattered in terms of some people were down at the river, some people were down below here, some sort of even sort of behind, and they weren't sort of fine in the sort of prime position here in terms of the perfect initiation for BMG. And as a result, you know, The Last of Us, they did capitalise. So obviously good news for them. They're still behind in terms of gold, but they are ahead in terms of experience, though.
Now, I want to ask you this, actually, because I'm kind of curious about your thoughts on this, and I have my own opinion, too. But Vindicator's final chapter, using it appropriately in team fights. We saw him using it leading into the fight right there to get the initiation off and go. He didn't have it, though, for a Protected Melody, for a Tempest Ultimate, for those big ultis. Those are the two big ones, of course. Do you think he should wait to use it in future fights, or is it fine using it leading in?
I mean, it's so hard to say, though, like, because obviously, in a sense, he sort of should hold it for the big ultimates like Tempest, like Rhapsody, but at the same time, he's only got 900 HP on Intelligent Sea Boots. Like, if he gets bursted down from like a Gauntlet hook, obviously on top of like a back blast from Hag, like, then he's going to be in a lot of trouble. In the meantime, obviously, Hag does drop to Pebbles and Ophelia, but with Vindicator, it's such a hard positioning sort of timing, and it's really going to depend. I think if he can, I think he should hold it, but if he feels like he's going to get bursted down, then obviously he should just use it before, because it's a lot better to obviously use it than obviously lose it.
Yeah, fair enough. So you see middle lane, they're pushing in now. Hack getting picked off, down for 30 more seconds, but Zephyr leading the way. He's 3,600 gold. He is level 16 as well, so has that level 3 Typhoon of his. You know, of course, buffed up as a result of that. He's going to run into Ophelia, actually. This is a little awkward here. He's going to be fine in the end, but yeah, Ophelia saying hello at least, and making him second guess what was going on right there. But in the end, he falls back, going to be fine. But yeah, 300 gold away pretty much from a Shrunken Head, which is what we both believe is probably going to be the case here, coming out for a Zephyr for multiple reasons. Now, of course, Shrunken Head good. He gets some magic damage, being able to fly around and whatnot, but physical presence. You got the Drunken Master on top of an Andromeda throwing out that level 4 Aurora right now. You're looking at -5 armor on top of the Soul's Bulwark debuff. So you got a lot of minus armor to work with and physical damage presence from this Drunken Master. And he is getting close to a Shrunken Head. That's going to be a huge item. And I actually almost go to the fact that Zibe going the Soul's Bulwark instead of finishing a Shrunken Head first is honestly pretty debatable because of this Legion team, especially the Zephyr farm. And where he's been at this game, as I say, the top of no, Wretched Hag blinked just before, but the lunge going to be coming up from Drunken. He guessed the blink would happen. He was in perfect position. Bad Plus comes out of Dustin. The Gauntlet, but the perfect timing. Wretched Hag will live, and Gauntlet not going to be able to follow for a kill, but at least he saves his teammate, I guess. Man, if they had one more person, that could have been a huge turnaround. But hey, he saves the Wretched Hag some way, somehow. Sacrificial Stone definitely helping right there.
Yeah, Hag. Definitely. But, I mean, yeah, I'm glad that obviously Gauntlet did rotate in, but I mean, where was the TP coming out from, like, Rhapsody, Tempest, and Zephyr? Like, if they TP'd in as well, that was definitely a turn kill onto Pebbles, but Gauntlet just couldn't do it by himself. Actually, Rhapsody might be in trouble here.
Well, she ran into a death trap last game, too, and somehow got away. Well, she is going to be fine. Yeah, she kind of walked right into them, but they choose not to follow up on any kind of jump. And Zephyr just doing some double stack Ancients right next to these guys, but yeah, he's going to start falling back because he knows they're coming to Pebbles. No, he's not going to use Stalagmites. Very good patience from Pebbles. I'm pretty sure, obviously, he knew he had a Shrunken Head. It's just a matter of getting him to use it, and that he did. He didn't even have to throw out a stun to do so. So that's use of the Shrunken. That's going to be down for 60 more seconds, and of course that means now it's only going to last 9 seconds instead of 10 in the future fight. It's one of those cases, just because you don't get a kill doesn't mean good things happened for your team. So Shrunken Head is going to be finished soon on Drunken Master. What do you think about that? I mean, that's kind of bringing that up. Do you think he should have arguably gone for the Shrunken Head just first, or is it fine getting the Soul's Bulwark first?
Yeah, I mean, if he goes Shrunken Head first, then obviously he's not going to farm that amazing, obviously, and he likes to have the swords work in terms of sort of pickoff as well. Like Stronghead isn't the greatest in terms of pickoffs, because although it might help you in terms of sort of chasing, because obviously you can't get stunned, and obviously if you get it too early, then obviously you're going to be wasting a lot of your charges that you're not really going to get back unless you sort of buy it again. That's going to be way late into the future. So in that sense, it makes sense. Actually, bottom line, Rich Haggett jumped again, actually.
That coordination, man, I love it. Now, will this actually result in a kill? Blink up in 3 seconds. The damage is real. Blink, blink, blink. No, couldn't come up in time. But yeah, I love the coordination. Shucks him into a lunge of Drunken Master. And then he stays down here. Now, you could also question Wretched Hag. She might have been better off blinking elsewhere, because she blinked basically right into Pebbles.
If she blinks into the trees either on the left or the right side, she could easily just TP out and be fine, because Stalagmites were still down. So again, questionable play coming out from President 23, but again, at the same time, great play coming out from Super KG. Sort of predict the movement there coming out from Rich Hag.
Hellflower is finished on Haxer in here, so similar to last game. In fact, the same build as last game. And last game it just was not necessarily as needed. This game around, though, definitely going to be needed. The Hellflower pickup to help lock down that, of course, Zephyr perhaps, and prevent the Shrunken Head from being used initially would be ideal. Now, again, Vindicator is one of those interesting Hellflower candidates. It's still a very good eye to pick up on him. Now, as far as mobility goes, though, he's not the quickest. He doesn't have the portal gear or anything to jump in. As I say that, though, Zephyr is going to be locked down right here. Hellflower comes out just in case. The lockdown initially from Pebbles, and it is going to be enough. And they get the kill onto the bird. So what he was even doing there in the first place is honestly pretty debatable, but, well, they just happen to run right into him.
Yeah, and at the same time, there's a great wall kind of placed from some support, actually 30 seconds before. But actually, in the meantime, Gauntlet might be getting picked off here, actually. He's going to get away in the end. But yeah, just great wall placement coming from support, sort of watching the rotation coming from King player. But again, yeah, very questionable play. He does have a buyback, but still, if you're the carry player, you have to be so reliable, so safe, because if you die, almost the whole of the team fight is gone. So he's most likely going to have to waste a buyback here, all because of almost a silly play coming in terms of the Zephyr here, but unless they're going to give up racks, which I don't think they should definitely try and buy back here and try, or hook just missed.
Yeah, if that hook hit, I'm sure it would have seen the buyback, but no, he's still going to hold on to it. There goes the tower, but I agree with you. I mean, are they really going to just give up a melee racks for this? Okay, they're going to be able to hold off initially. They're really trying to be greedy right here with that, though, but the melee rack's already just about half-life. It's going to go there now and possibly dead. At this point, the grapple, again, just unfortunately missing right there. Yep, they're going to give it up. They can't stop this at this point. Gauntlet goes in. They do lose the melee racks, but here we go. Vindicator going to be locked down. He still has final chapter. He gets it off just in time. Here comes Zephyr, but a beautiful Minotaur stun as soon as he ports in. And the chase continues now for BMG. See Trucker match with the front line, Shrunken Head. But again, they got what they came for already. So it's just a matter now of kind of just falling back, and that they do. Oh, geez. Well, that's The Last of Us. They got greedy, and it did not pay off.
Yeah, I mean, I can understand that obviously they want to sort of buy back exactly when Gauntlet hooked, but at the same time, if you buy back instantly, that's most likely going to force BMG to sort of rotate back. I don't think BMG were going to take that team fight going against high ground without token or any kind of other advantage. But then they do lose the racks, and okay, they did say the buyback came out from Zephyr, but was it really worth it? I just don't think so, because you've seen that there's a lot of team fight and a lot of push here from BMG, and obviously with that racks down, particularly the middle lane, they're going to lose so much lane control and so much sort of map control as well, and I don't know how the Last of Us are really going to get back into this, obviously. They need to get some nice pickoffs here with the portal key on Gauntlet and Tempest, unless Tempest can land some kind of god hole that is definitely a potential to have. Yeah.
Now, you see Drunken Master here. He has an invis. There is a Rev Ward on Rhapsody, but there's no reason for him to place it down right now, of course. Unless, okay, they do place it down, actually. Uh-oh, Drunken Master. They know he's here. They're going to go on him any second. There we go. There's a jump. Drunken Master. He's going to fall right off the path. The Rev Ward of the century coming out from Vanilla Fresh right there, and they know with him dead, this is a huge opening. Now, he does have a buyback, which he uses right away, actually. In the background, Wretched Hag gets jumped. Wretched Hag one out of a tech away. No, going to be fine for now, but here comes Drunken Master in those front lines, porting back in. The Shrunken Heads are off. The Tempest on the mid. They're protecting Melody. Going to be coming as well. So Tempest is stopped with the Andromeda swap, but down goes Rhapsody, and now Zephyr completely collapsed on. The hook is not going to be on the right target, and Gauntlet now also has to get away. So once again, the fight too strong for BMG. The buyback from Drunken Master, what looked like a blessing for The Last of Us, ended up being an onslaught in favor of Bad Monkey Gaming. And they're going to be coming back now. Now, again, Zephyr has more than enough money for a buyback. Will there be the opportunity to use it here? as they're going bottom. So yeah, that The Last of Us, though, they got to be. I mean, I don't know if they necessarily did anything wrong there. It was just a matter of BMG capitalizing.
Yeah, I mean, BMG, they were so far ahead in terms of golden experience as well. It was very hard for them to actually win that team fight. And just good initiation coming out from Pebbles, as well as obviously that the Renegades picked up the Hellfire as well. So it's still a lot of work in terms of Wretched Hagen and locking down Zephyr as well to stop him using his Cyclones. But Zephyr's got to buy back here again. He can't lose a second Rax. That's almost game already. They've got to try and take this team fight.
It's so close, man. 15 more seconds. I know it's just like, I want to say for the resurrection, but yeah, they're taking some good damage to the Rax now. It looks like this one is going to live. The hook does land actually on Drown, but he's not buying back just yet, though. He's going to wait it out. Final chapter comes out from our Hellboy team. Finally, he resurrects. He actually buys a Soul's Bulwark as he does. I mean, the melee Rax is going to live, so not the worst case for The Last of Us. Gauntlet Blast disjointed right there with the portal key, but down goes Andromeda. Here we go back in, though. Xibbe wants more to take place. Down goes Wretched Hag. But Zephyr, though, in those front lines, Bound Eyes actually on the gun. He's going to throw out the Typhoon. He wants to fight, damn it. He has a shotgun head up. He's trying to make it happen. Gus back in. Now he's kind of by himself in the background. Needs to be careful with that, as Xibbe also getting caught out in the front lines himself. He staggers away, though. Going to be fine. Zephyr, though, again, this is what I'm talking about. He's low now. He does not have a shotgun head. He's going to be chucked back in. One more auto attack. The Gust at the last second will somehow keep the bird alive. One auto attack away, but now they go back in the melee Rex, and they don't have invulnerability at this point. And it's going to die. Oh, geez. BMG,
yeah.
They're going to call it even, it looks like.
They're going to call it right there. Wow.
There you go. Just like that. I mean, you definitely got to look at that buyback situation and really question why he didn't buy back. Very, very greedy play. On both cases, for that matter. He is going to fall once again right there, but yeah, clearly at that point, just the overtime of screw this. So GG, well played. Bad Monkey Gaming will take the series 2-0, and that means they're moving on. The Last of Us will finish 4th place here in the Cycle 3 for On Tour Season 3. So still not a bad finish at all for them, definitely, but they were fighting pretty strong there in Game 2. Wasn't to be, though, I guess.
Yeah, and, I mean, it's good play, honestly, from BMG. I think they didn't put a foot wrong. They played very, very well. I don't know